I have to start out this review of Magic Carpet 2 by saying that the original Magic Carpet is the greatest first-person action game ever made!
Oh, come on. What about Doom 2 and...
Don't talk to me about Doom 2. Only 8 weapons and you just run around and shoot things. Don't get me wrong, that's all fine and fun. But compare that to the multiple spells and strategic action of Magic Carpet. Feature for feature, bite for bite, Magic Carpet is unequivocally...
It's what?
It's without a doubt the best first-person action game ever!
Okay then, if Magic Carpet is the best, what about Magic Carpet 2?
It's even better. It has more monsters, more spells. It runs even smoother than the first, and there are trick spells which make playing against human opponents more underhanded and fun than ever!
The storyline in Magic Carpet 2 picks up where the original left off. You've just finished saving the world from all the evil bad guys, and now you just want to walk the Arabian streets in a little peace and quiet.
But it seems that there's this demon lord who's grown tired of ruling the netherworld of the dead, and so now he wants to take the land of the living as well.
So once again you have to get on your carpet and do battle for the fate of the entire civilized world. But you aren't alone in this one. Your old master, Khafgar.
Wasn't he a writer?
No, he's a wizard that instructed you before he was killed. He's in the netherworld himself, but he can still communicate with you to help you out along the way.
Magic Carpet 2 works almost exactly as the original game. The player uses the carpet to cruise around the countryside, destroying any monsters that are around in an attempt to gain their mana and become more powerful.
There are a ton of spells that can be used to fire weapons, go really fast, become invisible, claim mana, and build castles.
Castles are very important because it gives you a chance to recharge your energies, plus, the bigger your castle, the more mana you can gain. When you kill a creature or knock down a castle wall, mana is produced.
When you see mana laying around, you have to use a possession spell to claim it as your own. A hot air balloon will then pick it up and take it back to your castle for storage. The biggest difference between the original and Carpet 2 is the level structure. In the original game, the goal was to acquire enough mana to advance to the next level. But in Magic Carpet 2, the designers have incorporated a mission structure.
This means that instead of just gathering enough mana in each level in order to advance, the player must now accomplish a series of tasks like flying over a certain point, destroying certain buildings, and killing other wizards.
Khafgar, your old master, helps out along the way by pointing a big red arrow on your map at the next thing that has to be taken care of. He also gives advice in the form of text on the screen about your next mission goal.
The game takes place in 25 different locations on a map, each location requiring the player to complete the mission. The player must complete the current location before advancing, but previous locations can be revisited for playing experience, overlooked spells, that kind of thing. The most pleasant surprise was the new spell interface. Any number of spells can be assigned to either of the 2 fire buttons, and all the player has to do is cycle through those spells until the one he wants appears.
Choosing a new spell can be done without leaving the action, which was the case in the original.
There are also a lot of new spells to play around with, like the Whirlwind,
the Firestorm,
the Gravity Hole,
and the Lightning Storm.
Each spell has 3 different levels of power, and the more experience you gain from using the spells, the higher the level of each spell you can get.
Instead of having the normal Fireball and Rapid Fireball spells as separate, they are now different levels of the same spell. So there was a lot of room for new spells to be added on.
Choosing the level of spell you want to use is very easy, but you have to pause the game while adjusting anything with the spell menu. If you don't, the action will continue in the game, but you won't have any control over your carpet rider.
This was the way that choosing a spell worked in the original. I wish there was some way around losing control of my rider, but I guess it's a necessary evil.
Another nifty feature is the different style of fighting environments. Magic Carpet just had one area to fight in, daylight.
But not in Carpet 2. In addition to daytime missions, there's now night missions, which gives everything a really nice, eerie glow to it.
And there's also cavern areas, which now puts the player in cramped spaces with walls and ceilings. And since both of these areas have very little light, it was possible for Bullfrog to add in light sourcing.
This means that if you fire a weapon that glows in a dark area like a fireball, you'll be able to see the glow on the walls, ceilings, and ground as it flies by. It's a very nice effect.
There are also lots of new monsters to battle against, including, those awful spiders that trap you with webs and then close in for the kill.
There are zombies which steal your mana and your spells.
flying things called Cimmerians, which break into castle-eating bugs when you destroy them.
Fireball-throwing devils, which hop around really fast.
Fireflies, which are basically a night version of bees.
And lots more. And the beasties that were in the original game, like the worm and the dragon, have all gotten facelifts to look a little better.
The worm now has markings on his back and pincers for teeth instead of just a bunch of black globs roaming around.
The dragon now has horns and moves in an erratic pattern, which makes it more difficult to hit.
The graphics, like the castle and the morphing effects, look about the same as they always have.
But the designers have increased the speed by about 70%. This doesn't mean that you'll be flying that much faster, but that the execution of the game is a whole lot smoother.
You'll still need a super machine to run in high-res mode, but the low-res mode looks just fine and runs extraordinarily smooth.
And the morphing terrain is spectacular, especially with some of the new spells like the Gravity Well.
Magic Carpet 2 proves that no one makes games like Bullfrog Productions.
This game is more imaginative, better looking, and smoother playing than any other game out there. If you love action, forget Doom, forget Heretic. This is the ticket.
The variety of spells makes for endless fun, and it gets extremely crazy in the multiplayer mode.
Let me say it once again to make it clear, and if you don't believe me, then you haven't played the game. Magic Carpet 2 is positively, without a doubt, the greatest first-person action game ever.